I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man. Thomas Jefferson. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
We spearheaded 2.5 weeks ago a global revolt against the naked body scanners. I told you we could do it together. For 8 days straight, we've been the top link on Drudge with our articles each day. Pilots, passengers rage at new naked scans and pat-downs. Under that, giant text, Big Sis moves to stop revolt, holiday travel on the brink. There are the heads of the biggest travel organizations, Disney, the hotel associations, the major pilot association, the flight attendant associations, they are all in total revolt. Everybody who's been through these, and I've been through them, I've seen it happen, I've said no, are in total revolt right now. This is so exciting. We've got Michael Braverman, TV producer and researcher, and one of the folks that appears in the hit TV show, I'd call it a documentary, now in its second season, Conspiracy Theory. This was the #1 search term yesterday. Bombshell, FEMA camps confirmed. Good job to the listeners. Google tried to block our FEMA camp search term, but other people wrote about our story, so it got out to everybody. Very, very exciting. Good job on that front. We are doing another search term today. Dealing, of course, with the revolt against the TSA. We'll put that up on screen if we can, the search term I'm doing today. But I want to give them a double shot of resistance. And we're about to finish up with Bob Chapman, then go to Michael Braverman. I want to make 3 words the term today. FEMA camps confirmed. FEMA camps confirmed. Put that into Google over and over and over again. FEMA camps confirmed. And hit them again. Hit them with bombshell FEMA camps. Let's see them try to block both those. So I just fired 2 torpedoes. Bombshell FEMA camps, and FEMA camps confirmed. 2 separate search terms. Nothing can stop you, ladies and gentlemen. You are awesome. Look at the global revolts that we're starting. And then I forget my search term from the first hour. That's why I'm asking for the blue screen. So I can... Okay, it's revolt against TSA. That's what I thought it was. Revolt. There it is. Revolt against TSA. And that's destined to be #1 in the next hour, then the others later. And throughout the weekend, you can keep searching the term. All right, finishing up with Bob Chapman. Bob, briefly, what's your take on the naked body scanner revolt, the pat-downs, the grabbing women and children's genitals? Even Atlantic Monthly, Jeffrey Goldberg's reporting on this. This is huge. They're having emergency meetings at the White House right now with the heads of Disney World, you name it. I mean, this is big.
It is big, and it's a national disgrace that these people would even attempt to do such things to control people. This is what it's really all about. And I hope they revolt so that every machine is taken out of everywhere and sent down to the machine dump someplace, because there's absolutely no reason for doing those kind of things to people.
And there needs to be an investigation of Chertoff purchasing billions of machines in late 2008 before he left office and then becoming the CEO of the company. I mean, that's brazen.
Well, it certainly is something that should be investigated. But unfortunately, in Washington today, no matter what you do, you get away with it. But just to bring it up to the public attention and cause the consternation that it will cause, and they will do away with them. They're not going to keep them in there.
Well said, Bob Chapman. Bob, in closing, folks can call Midas Resources and get a free copy of your 40-plus page weekly newsletter. What's the toll-free number for folks to call and get it?
877-479-8178. That's 877-479-8178. And don't forget, Ted has a special deal, free 1-year subscription to the International Forecaster if you buy one of the Frank coins. It's the best deal I've ever seen.
Well said. Bob, God willing, we'll see you back live during the show next Friday.
You got it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bob Chapman, Crusader for Liberty. I was really excited when True TV folks called me Michael Braverman and Tyrell, and said, hey, we think the police state episode that you're in is the most powerful. It's groundbreaking. And I was there. I was at the FEMA centers, I mean, with Jesse. I haven't been able to talk about it, but now they're allowing folks, because this is so big, it airs tonight, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. You know I'm going to be watching it. The episode they think is the next powerful is the JFK with the deathbed confession, E. Howard Hunt, coming up next Friday. And it's really important because there's been all these denials about FEMA camps, and now it's all coming out. Now, of course, Braverman has worked extensively with Jesse Ventura for many years. And, of course, he's produced a whole bunch of hit television shows. One of them, the #1 news show, of course, in the last 2 years on True TV, getting record ratings there. And there's no doubt why, because they're covering things that's never been on national television. It's been here on this show, but never with the budget, never with the research, never on national television. And tonight's police state episode is absolutely off the charts. And the article's bombshell, FEMA camps confirmed. And we're making FEMA camps confirmed. The search term, please put it in Google over and over again. And then separately, bombshell FEMA camps. Let's see them try to censor that like they tried yesterday and failed. They tried? They tried and failed? They tried and failed. Let's go to Michael Braverman. Michael, good to have you here with us.
Hey, Alex. Thanks for having me on.
So much is going on. I got to ask you, what's your take on the naked body scanners?
You know what? I listened a little bit to your last guest. I think this whole thing is going to go down in flames or up in flames because people aren't going to stand for it. It's just they're now got to the point where the masses of population are going to start to push back.
This could be the trigger, kind of like the tea tax in 1776. I'm not kidding. I mean, this is huge. Now, so much is coming out. I think of last year's episodes, how you had made the global warming fraud special, and then everything in your special, even though it had been produced and finished weeks before, it came out right as ClimateGate broke, and it made international headlines because you got people at the UN to admit they'd engaged in chicanery and lies. Now, this, I believe, is even bigger, but it's up to the listeners to spread the word. I mean, I know Tyrell agrees, Jesse agrees. What's your view on this key episode coming up tonight?
I'll tell you what, you know, just to back up a little bit, I always call this show the miracle show. I call conspiracy theory a miracle because having been in the trenches of the TV business, the fact that we're on and that we're in our second season is, to overstate it again, a miracle. To have a show like this that exposes the things that we do in the mass media, or the corporate media, as some people call it, but in the mass media on a network that reaches 90 million homes is to me unbelievable. And a lot of it is to the support of people that are your listeners and other people that, you know, have open minds and are willing to look at an alternative and are willing to accept an alternative. And this episode that's going to air tonight, you know, I've seen a lot of stuff, Alex. You and I have talked a couple of different times, you know, many times. I've seen a lot of stuff in producing this show, but this stuff, the stuff that's on tonight, I got to tell you, it keeps me up. It keeps me up at night thinking about what the government is really doing and the stuff. And we saw it. We see it. We prove it. And we have people looking in our faces and just lying right in the camera. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely, and I'm very proud to be associated with this important episode. You've got the water episode coming up, how they're hoarding and taking over all the water.
By the way, I'll just stop you for a second. That will blow people's minds. Blow your minds.
We're going to talk about some of the other episodes coming up, but specifically, I've got the bullet points of what we're able to reveal. Michael, you've got the floor. Walk through a prelude, a kind of first look of what people are going to see tonight, 9 p.m. Central.
Well, what they're going to see is a couple different things. We're going to tell a story that begins with, we're going to tell a story that if you said it to your friends and neighbors, they would go, come on, it's unbelievable. It sounds like fiction. What you're going to see tonight sounds like a made-up, story, a made-up fictional story, but it's not. I mean, you watch this thing, and we're going to show you a coffin storage yard, and I know, Alex, you were there on that shoot, with hundreds and hundreds of thousands of coffins that They're just stacked up waiting for something, and right as we got there to shoot, all of a sudden trucks showed up and started moving them out. Now, you can draw your own conclusions about that. They knew we were coming. They knew we were going to be there, and they wanted to get that stuff.
Yeah, a driver even told the locals. We talked to multiple locals who talked to the drivers because they're in a neighborhood area with some woods behind it. That yeah, they told us, because people are coming out here and we know the media is coming. And then there's the usual suspects. Popular Mechanic supposedly debunks it by doing a straw man saying that the locals are involved. The locals that were storing it are good people. The fact is, we know, and I gave you guys the documents, that emergency managers in New York, Indiana, and other states, including Alabama and Georgia, have confirmed there is a CDC program preparing for mass graves of millions of dead Americans during a bioattack. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. And then we move on in the episode to these things called fusion centers. And I didn't know what the heck a fusion center was till I started, doing the research and building out this show. There are these places all over the country. I think there's 90 of them where it's federal, state, local, cops, FBI, DEA, ICE, everybody, they all get together and they share information. And they say they don't watch people, they watch, and I'm going to put, and you'll see this, the guy says it directly, they watch trends. And as Jesse says, well, trends, who makes trends? People make trends. And it's been proven, and anybody can Google this, in Missouri, the Fusion Center in Missouri was sued because they were watching people with Ron Paul stickers on their cars, anybody associated with the third-party movement, or people who were conspiracy theorists. Now, you tell me, anybody listening to this program, you tell me. So, basically, if that ain't the thought police, I don't know what is. If I believe in conspiracies and I go on conspiracy websites, or I want to talk to somebody, or I go to a meeting, I'm on a watch list? When did that happen in this country?
It's Soviet-style secret police, and then they start people that protest the MIAC Homeland Security reports that law enforcement sent us and that we broke, of course. When locals protest it, then they get followed. And just a month ago, I had a Pennsylvania representative on who was having tea parties and gun rallies. And so he was surveilled by Homeland Security. I mean, this is incredible.
Right, and it's not really political. Like, what's the next step? If I go to a Middle Eastern restaurant, am I going to get watched? If I go to a gun show, I mean, the point is, it's not political. It's everything they don't like.
It's an attempt to intimidate everybody.
Correct. No matter what your politics are, and that's my point. You could be on the right, you could be on the left. Doesn't matter. You could be at a Tea Party rally, or you could be, you could be at a Ron Paul rally, or you could be, believing in conspiracy theories. It doesn't matter.
Anti-war groups are being watched
all the time. All the time. And then we found out that these fusion centers are actually a precursor to these mass FEMA camps that you just discussed. So this thing all kind of ties in together, and it all kind of goes down, one thing leads to another. And then you get to the FEMA camps, and then you find out, and, Alex, you've been so helpful in a lot of this stuff, then you find out that President Obama's executive order divides the country into 10 sectors. So forget about your state government, forget about your governor. In a crisis, these 10 hand-picked governors are now going to take over these 10 sectors of the country.
Unbelievable.
Which, and people, I've told people this, my own family, and they go, come on, you're making this up. I go, no, we have the document.
Well, I mean, that's like classical tyranny. That's like the line from Star Wars, Episode 4, A New Hope, when they're on the deck of the, command area of the Death Star, and Darth Vader and Governor Talk walk in, and they say, the Emperor has dissolved the Senate, and he says, and one of the commanders says, gotten rid of the Senate, who's going to maintain control? The regional governors will control their systems.
Yeah, remember that?
I mean, that is classic tyranny right there.
Well, also, too, it's another way to take power away from the hands of people and put power into the hands of people, of a tiny group of people that they think know better. That's the part that scares me.
Well, this is FEMA government. You've got 10 FEMA regions, now with 10 governors over them, and in the John Warner Defense Authorization Act, it says that the government can now just set aside Congress for 6 months and operate under this.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you realize that these things are real and these things are in writing and they're in place and they're waiting. They're all there. The trigger is waiting to be pulled. And again, I came at this, as you know, Alex, from a kind of a neutral point of view. I mean, as a TV guy and a guy in the business and stuff. And I tell you, a show like tonight, again, it keeps me up at night because I think, you know, this stuff is, we're not making this stuff up.
Well, I've worked on a lot of shows with you, Michael, with Tyrell and Jesse and the whole great crew, and you guys take it serious. You go into it, you know, not knowing if it's real or not, and unfortunately, it always turns out to be real and worse than you thought. But you guys, is it accurate to say have been a little bit shaken up by this episode?
Yeah, this is one of the ones, and the one you mentioned too, the water one, and a couple others that I can't talk about that are coming really, really soon in this season, because we have, I think, 5 weeks left, 5 Fridays left, and we'll talk more as we approach those maybe in the next couple of weeks. But the water one, the JFK one is a mind blower for anybody who lived through that era or anybody who's interested in that era. This episode about this water conspiracy is something I had no idea about, and I guarantee you 97% of Americans have no idea about.
Let's go back to tonight's episode, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, and folks can find True TV on your cable or your dish or direct TV systems. We'll give you the website so people can visit the Conspiracy Theory website and see some sneak peeks of this. But, Michael, look, this isn't hype. This is breaking news, what's going to air tonight. This is groundbreaking. This proves it and connects it, and you have all the documents and the video. This is the FEMA camp film I wish I could have made but didn't have the resources.
Well, I appreciate that, and I would just urge everybody to tell people to watch this. I'm not even saying to people, and I know you don't do this either, I'm not telling you to believe it or not believe it. I'm saying watch it with an open mind, draw your own conclusion. And one thing I will say is that, you know, your audience and the people who do have an open mind and the people who do ask questions and don't just believe what they're told, they're our supporters. They're the people who support this show. And we need them to watch this show. We need them to watch this show tonight and all the subsequent shows, especially the one tonight, because we want to stay on the air. We want to keep bringing this stuff to, you know, to a mass audience, to 90 million homes. And as I said at the beginning, it's a miracle that we've lasted into our second season. We're a hit, but we need to stay on the air, and we need everyone's support. We need everybody to tune in, you know, tell your friends and neighbors, anybody who's got an open mind, who's interested in the world around them, and who really wants to take another look and a more serious look at what's really going on in this country.
Well, that's right. The mainstream media has always had the laugh factor, made fun of anybody that questioned any corruption, and now it comes out the Gulf of Tonkin was staged. It comes out the government shooting up little kids with syphilis in Guatemala.
Yep.
And now people are really starting to pay attention, and it's not just that it airs and 1.8 million or 1.6 watch it. That's great. They air this show over and over and over again. I mean, it's got to be reaching tens and tens of millions per episode, because people all over the streets. When I was on Nightline, you know, I didn't get hardly any response on the streets. I get responses everywhere about the show Conspiracy Theory being on it.
Yeah, and here's the last thing I want to say about that, and this I want your listeners to take to heart.
I tell you what, stay there, Michael. Final segment. We've got a break. Come back, talk about the other key point you want to make, and then more about some of the other groundbreaking episodes coming up, and give us the True TV website, or just Google Conspiracy Theory Jesse Ventura. It's the top link. Send it out to everybody you know. Tell them watch tonight. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been going for 2 hours and 54 minutes and haven't even talked about the online video bookstore, the fact that you can get 5 months free right now at prisonplanet.tv with all my films, the live stream of the show. It's your support, buying the books, the videos, the T-shirts, all of it that makes Infowars.com and the films and everything we do possible. So just like we need to spread the word about this show to keep it on air, and Michael just told me something really big during the break he was trying to say. This is pretty scary stuff, actually. But you knew it would happen. Just please support us, support them, get the word out, buy the books and videos, because we want to continue to be able to not just stay here, but expand. Michael Braverman, you dropped a bombshell on me during the break. Tell the listeners.
Yeah, here's what I want everyone to know. I have information, which I have to keep for obvious reasons very, very private, but I have information that there are forces out there, powerful forces, that want this show off the air. They want us off. They don't want us talking about stuff like FEMA camps. They don't want us talking about stuff like the JFK assassination. They don't want us talking about, you know, these really controversial, important things.
Wall Street, water.
Wall Street, water. They want us off the air. Alex, I can't say it any clearer than that. I've got some information from people. I know it sounds like trust me, I'm not making this up.
No, I understand.
It's scary stuff, and I'm fighting, and you're fighting, and Jesse especially, more important than all of us, is fighting really hard to keep this show on the air. And in our business, in the TV business, there's one thing that beats all of them, and that's ratings. So if people support us and people enjoy the show, and they're willing to come to it with an open mind, you don't have to agree with everything we say, but you have to have an open mind. And if you want a show like this on the mass media, again, what I called it at the very beginning, the miracle show, if you want us to stay on the mass media and be able to reach 90 million homes, we need everybody's help. And, because, again, ratings, it's a money business. Ratings win. And if we get the ratings, with everybody's help, we can beat back these people that want us off the air. And these are big, powerful people.
Michael, let me throw this out at you. I don't want you to get in trouble for saying too much, but I know quite a bit about behind the scenes. They've had people in suits digging through Tyrell Ventura's trash.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes on and on. But obviously, and we've talked a little bit behind the scenes, because this is seen as a genre by the establishment, if this is a hit show, which it is, now other people are going to pitch these shows on other networks. I know other networks are looking at similar things. Beck is getting record audiences doing the same thing. It's not conspiracy theory. It's talking about real issues.
Yeah.
The system is scared.
Yes.
And the old Hollywood elite, we talked about this last year, they're getting upset because they understand that we are starting to take over.
Big time. And it's exactly right. If we weren't a successful show, we wouldn't have any problems. Because then, we'd be below the radar. And I think we ran below the radar in the first year, and now suddenly we're back, and we're doing numbers, and we're doing stuff like FEMA camps, the conspiracy to steal water. When you do this stuff, suddenly people in high positions, they start to take notice. And suddenly you start to get all kinds of strange things happening to you. Some of them, I can't talk about. I know Tyrell talked about the guy going through his trash. I've had some things happen to me on Facebook that they're chilling. They're chilling. I mean, and again, I'm not an alarmist kind of guy, Alex, but I am now convinced there are forces out there who do not want this show to continue.
Yeah, they go out and do horrible things and say you did it. I know what they do. I've been going through it for 15 years. And
yeah, have you? Yeah.
But the tide is turning. And you talk about how many big Hollywood stars you talk to who are tired of the left-right paradigm. They're tired of, the old guard. They want to cover real issues. They don't want to just be a liberal or a conservative. Yeah. They want to talk about real issues.
Yeah. Well, I always tell people this has nothing to do with liberal or conservative. The show tonight, as I said, they're targeting everybody. This police state show, they're after everybody. If you like guns, if you're against abortion, if you're in the Tea Party movement, if you're a leftist, whatever you are, as long as you're not towing the line and marching in lockstep, they want you.
All right, I'm going to talk to you as the show ends here. Retransmission comes up with so much key info. Stay with us. It airs tonight, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. True TV, it's Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura. Great job, crew.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.